Good evening, ladies, Jennifers, and my lovely enemies. We're here live in Tennessee where we see the Moonshiner go against the Howlers in game number 3. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are now in the real meat grinder here when it comes to these finals. We're about to head into game 3 as the Montana Howlers are looking to possibly make this into a situation where they just need one more to go ahead and sink everything and get that 10th chip.
Well, I mean, two away technically, but if they do win one here of the first two in Tennessee, you have to imagine it is going their way. And I mean, Tennessee, they've been here before. To clarify, we made a mistake previous broadcast stating that Tennessee had never been down 2-0. That's incorrect. They actually were down 2-0 against both Lorraine and Plymouth and managed to fight their way back in. So this isn't a position they are unfamiliar with. And that has to give them some, positive vibes coming into this game, even though they came so close in game two to possibly stealing that one away on the road. They have to come into game three feeling a lot better after that game two performance.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, I blame you on that one. Just to clarify, I think it was Eastman's fault. But I think that with how game one had ended out for them, that a lot of people were very scared for the Moonshiners and how they were able to respond after a very lackluster performance in game one. But in game two, they were able to fought hard with a lot more of an even distributed game between the two. But I will say, if they really want to go over the hump against the Howlers, we're gonna have to look at Selby being able to really do much better than what he did in game two because he did struggle last game.
Yeah, at first I thought maybe they were trying to fade away from using him so heavily after a 40-point game in game one. A lot of attention was going to be on him in game two, and I thought that may have been a strategy for them, but it just seemed like as the game went on, it was not that, in fact. And maybe it was partially because of the Moonshiners making an adjustment, but it really felt like Selby was a little flat-footed in game two, and maybe fatigue of trying to carry the team in game one carried over.
Yeah, for sure. And comparing over to Selby, we have to really got to give our flowers over to Birdie because Birdie has been playing lights out so far this series as the Howlers have been able to utilize him, being able to take advantage of all the open lanes that he's able to give into him to drive to the basket.
Yeah, game one was definitely the standout performance, 32 points, I believe. And then game two, was really quite in that first half, much like Selby. We thought maybe some fatigue was carrying over, but seemed like he was just saving himself through for conserving his energy for that second half, and really was that final spark that pushed them over Tennessee, who again, up until the last 2 or 3 minutes, was within a basket and could have easily been the one to win had the basket coin flip fallen their way.
Yeah, it was just those last few possessions that really kind of put a stamp on that game for game number two. But now for game number three, what do you think is the X factor going to be into this game for both teams respectively?
X factor for me, I think foul trouble might end up being a situation that hinders Tennessee the most. I think Montana might be starting to realize that Luther Kierkegaard is such the linchpin of the Tennessee defense. If they can attack the basket, and that's really where they've attacked both game one, game two. They just haven't been able to draw the fouls. But if they can draw the fouls against Kierkegaard, that's going to make their post attack so much more effective. Whereas for Montana, I feel like their biggest concern will be shutting down Selby. Can they continue to shut down the Rabbit? They saw him absolutely light it up in game one, and if the rest of his cast is able to support him, he could be unstoppable in game three and end up taking the victory at home.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very interesting how those two situations play out as we do see both teams lining up for the tip off.
Yeah, both teams split the tip-offs last two games. This time it's going to be Montana coming away with it. And Williamson had some big threes in the past couple games. Have to see how he does on the road here. He's going to dish it on over to Birdie, finding Sutters on the wing, backing down, not able to get really close to the post, and easy rebound for the Tennessee Moonshiners.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we have to look into is how Kierkegaard is able to kind of do very well because he has been able to get the boards for this team, but it's really offensive situations that we have to see if he's able to get things down for him.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in game 1 and 2, great defensive effort coming out as River misses his first shot. And, that's kind of where I was pointing to the linchpin of the defense, and he's the best one to match up against the Moonshiners' bigs. So if he's out of the game, as we saw, the bench, uh, Dunbrock and Blackburn both really stepping it up when they come in. And that almost makes it seem like they need to keep Kierkegaard in for even longer. As a long three, no good for Montana, scoreless so far here.
Yeah, right now both defenses are doing a pretty good job here, making sure that they're getting the toughest shots for their opponents.
Yeah, and the three game was really something Tennessee leaned on in the first game of the series, but not so heavily in the second. As we get our first basket there falling, finally coming out from River. 1 minute and
Yeah,
30 seconds into the game.
Yeah, River really taking advantage of the defender being much smaller than he is, being able to go ahead and make that easy mid-range shot.
Yeah, well, Birdie's going to come out with a second chance opportunity. Manages to pull the ball in from the Jackalope's pause and getting it back up. I mean, tough attacking the basket, but no surprise it's Birdie, the first one to get the basket for Montana here tonight.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to see how well he moves within the paint as River's able to go ahead and get the quick layup to extend that lead back up to 2.
So you talk about beautiful moves. I want to talk about that. Kierkegaard threaded that pass perfectly for River so that River naturally turned after the catch and pretty much danced around like a spin move in football around the defender and just laid it up and in. No one was even there to put a paw up in his face. Williamson, shot clock starting to become a problem. Going to have to take a shot with two defenders. Rattles off the back of the board, and Kierkegaard will wrestle down that rebound.
Yeah, it seems like Tennessee is really aiming on trying to kind of clog up the mid-range area to make sure that it makes it tough for Sada. Selby goes for 3, and it's going to go down.
Yeah, that was a great screen. You saw Selby going back underneath the hoop, relying on the screen to get a lot of an open look from beyond the arc. Able to get a fall there, and that's the first 3 tonight. As Birdie going to elevate and slam it down with 2 paws.
Yeah, Birdie, we got to remember, even though he knows how to be very fluent on the floor, he can be very ferocious when he gets a chance to go to the basket and get an easy dunk.
Yeah, and River going to do a step back, not able to convert. Montana, an opportunity to answer back. Leon Cross had a bit of a strong showing in game 2. See if she's able to keep it up here in game 3. But the quick dish to Birdie, wide open. That's 6 points in a row for Birdie. I mean, Montana's not giving an inch of ground, but it's all coming on the back of Birdie here.
Yeah, really just find a way to get Birdie open, and that's kind of been the big struggle for Tennessee throughout the first 2 games, is trying to contain Birdie, especially as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, at some point, Birdie will need to rest, and at that point, the question is who steps up? I mean, we've seen definitely a few bench players from both sides. Oh, and a beautiful pass, Williamson, but St. Croix not able to get the bucket up in time as Kierkegaard gets the block, and the crowd is getting excited as Selby on the other end answers with a quick bucket.
Yeah, and that's the first basket there for Selby, and we expect him to go ahead and try and do much better than he did in the previous game.
He hit a 3 earlier.
Oh, well.
I mean, that's his first 2-pointer, I guess we can say.
Yeah.
As Montana comes away empty from that possession, but fast break. River dish down low in the post and able to lay it up and in with the defender behind him. I think Sutter's half a step too late there to really have a chance of blocking that shot.
Yeah, right now, River and Selby has been the primary offensive users as we get a foul there on Burger Kane. That's be his first personal for the night.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, honestly, we haven't had a timeout already from Tennessee. They might be in the lead right now, but the fact that Birdie, they haven't been able to contain him, you have a feeling they probably had some game plan in mind with how impactful he's been in game 1 and 2 to try and shut him down in game 3, and it's already kind of falling apart with 6 straight points, even if no one else has scored.
Yeah, right now we get a quick Blocking foul, though, on Greer.
That's 2 blocking
So,
fouls on this possession already charged against Tennessee, and the fans are not happy.
yeah, and that's something that we also have to keep note of is that Tennessee has had a little bit prone of making quite a few mistakes as the game goes on these past two games. They need to find ways to clean that up to not give Montana these many chances as they're able to take advantage of that one there.
Yeah, that fresh shot clock of 14 seconds gave them the time to get that bucket, and it's really been the turnovers that has cost Tennessee, and we'll have to see if they can clean that up here tonight. As Selby going to drive the basket, blocked by Sutters, battling for the ball, and it's going to be Williamson with it.
Great defense within the paint there by Sutters as Williamson, he gets blocked on his own there. I believe that was Kierkegaard that got his paw up to really make it much difficult for Montana to be able to try to take advantage of the fast break points.
Yeah, kind of hard to battle the jackalope down low in the post like that, especially when there's a second defender on you. And it's going to be River up against the polar bear, bullying his way with his shoulder to get down low in the post and lay it up and in. A 5-point game here with half the quarter gone. Montana still hasn't even broke the double-digit barrier in points, but St. Croix, I thought that was going to be a huge dunk, but she pulled back and let it roll off her fingertip instead.
Yeah, and of course, as you say that, it's pretty much going to show that even though that this has kind of been a little bit of a low-scoring game between both of these teams, they are still wanting to go in their game plan of utilizing the paint as that basket didn't go down for River.
Yeah, field goal percentage in the first two games, aside from that one quarter, has been very high for both teams, but struggling to find the way in game number 3 here. Williamson calling for the screen, gets an open look. It's inside the line, though, so that long two really worked hard for it only to be a 2-point play, but great block there. Great screen there from the polar bear, getting that open look. And Kierkegaard cleans it up. He just taps it back in.
Yeah, right now both bigs are really starting to come alive in the early goings, trying to help clean up any of the messes for both sides. We do get a timeout here from the Howlers as Tennessee is up by 3.
Yeah, and it's been off the ball plays that are also impressive. I mean, obviously Kierkegaard being able to tap it in off of a miss, salvaging those points, and then obviously St. Croix with the big block. It's very hard to get around the polar bear when she throws her body around like that. But we're gonna see both teams sub in their B team, second unit on the floor. Have to see if Montana is able to pull away here like they did in game 1, or if Tennessee can hold the ground like they did in game 2. And it's going to be, I think, Brooks there with the fadeaway jumper for the first basket. Both teams, I said their field goal percentage wasn't the greatest, but both above 50% right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, it hasn't been the greatest from what we've seen so far in these past finals, because at this point in the previous 2 games, they've both been over 60%, if I recall correctly. As we get a quick foul there on Dunbrock, so we'll see some 2 free throws going for over to Tennessee. But yeah, usually because of the fact of how well both teams have done when it comes to shooting within the paint, they've been well over 50%, well, 60%. At this point in the early goings, and then it slowly trickled down. But now it seems a little bit more of a kind of a normal game that we see with around 50 to 55% between both teams.
Yeah, and you see who's still on the floor. Kierkegaard might not be getting a lot of rest this game. They're trying to him out as an answer to the Dunbrock-Blackburn combo that has plagued them. As Blackburn, speaking of, absolutely hammers it down.
Yeah, that's a very prime example of how much the bigs of the Howlers have been a big issue for the Moonshiners, because no matter what they've been able to do, they have been a thorn on the Shiners side. At least Gigagar comes in and flying down with that dunk.
Not just a dunk, a reverse two-handed jam, cleaning up that missed shot. The Jackalope getting it done. Dunbrock with the tough shot over Kierkegaard, no good. Tennessee a chance to continue to push this lead in their favor.
Yeah, that's for sure going to be the case. I imagine that this is going to be one of those times where Kierkegaard has to come and shine with his size. But here we do see Lady Black doing some very good moves as she's able to go ahead and get the quick 2 points within the paint.
Yeah, I mean, splitting the defense, able to get the ball up. Honestly, I didn't even see her. I just saw the ball come flying up between the two defenders and find its way in the basket. And she's very good about threading the defense down low in the post. And Montana starting to blink a little bit here. They're the first ones to start missing a fair bit, and now it's Tennessee an opportunity to build up a lead. And the fadeaway, no good, but Kierkegaard cleaning it up, no good on the second chance opportunity.
Yeah, as good it is to go ahead and get those offensive rebounds, we get a personal foul on Jones. So it will actually go over to the Moonshiners, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, he really leaned
that's
into
a
that
pretty
one there. That's why they called it. He threw his shoulder out.
yeah. So Tennessee's able to go ahead and cause a turnover. So they will be able to go ahead and try to extend this lead more so. And we'll see if they do it here as Collins goes ahead and give it the drive.
And you saw Kierkegaard getting pulled out. They obviously need to let him rest his legs some as Savoy from beyond the arc, no good. Battle for the rebound goes the way of Brooks, the Rabbit, able to pull it down.
Yeah, now the Kierkegaard is not going to be on the floor. They're going to have to find a way to get around the combo of their second unit when it comes to their bigs, as Montana is going to try and take advantage of it as they do cut the deficit down to 3 now with that basket.
Yeah, Rendall driving to the basket, able to get that layup. The rookie showing up in game number 2 off the bench, providing necessary points to be the difference maker when the starters were resting. And a foul reaching there called against Dillon. Going to be an inbound with 14 seconds on the shot clock now.
Yeah, with the shot clock refreshing over to 14, it gives them an opportunity to possibly take advantage of it here. We'll see if they can get it back to a 2-possession game with this one.
And now Weber on the floor for Tennessee, trying to add some bulk down low in the post, help box out, but time's going to be a problem for them. And they're going to get a blocking foul. Another refresh of the shot clock. And the
Actually,
team.
no, they're in the bonus now, so that'll be I think it'll be.
It is two free throws. Dang.
Yeah, so they'll be in the bonus. They'll get a free couple of shots with that. So,
I mean,
with about a minute left, they have a chance to extend the lead in an old-fashioned way.
Well, the refs are, I don't want to say being a little whistle happy, but, that's like the third or fourth blocking foul we've had called already in this game, and mostly against Montana, but the missed second free throw there. Alley-oop attempt to Roth is good. Jackson to Roth connects. Montana back within 2 now with 64 seconds left to go.
Yeah, that was a very excellent alley-oop dunk attempt. And I got to say, that really did quiet down the crowd quite a bit. I think they're kind of showing their frustrations with that one.
Yeah, I mean, the missed free throw leading to a quick dunk like that is definitely not how you want it to go for your team. And now Montana a chance to possibly tie it up or extend it to the lead on their part if they manage to hit a 3. But they haven't been too aggressive from beyond the arc. But it's going to be a pass down to Roth. Missed shot, but contact called. 2 free throws coming. And now the crowd is against the refs as they call that the whistle.
Well, you already know how fans are going to be. They're going to be against their refs if it doesn't go their team's way, no matter what.
Well,
I mean, that's just kind of something that you expect from a lot of it.
60 seconds ago, they're cheering for the blocking call, and now they're booing for the clear contact on the shot attempt. It's a very fickle crowd in terms of what they are going to cheer for here.
Well, that's what you expect from when it comes to the refs. The refs expect fickle actions between when it comes to their different teams. I'm sure that we get the opposite reaction if we were in Montana.
Oh, 100%. And Montana a chance to take the lead here. Blackburn going to match up against Black. Ooh. Fading away, making a difficult shot. Maybe could have just leaned in instead, but then again, that comes into effect of how happy the refs have been to call charge blocking, how quickly they might be willing to call a charge against Blackburn knocking over Lady Black.
Yeah, so we do end the first quarter tied up, and even if the shot came off, I think the ball was still in his paws. So I really would think that would have counted at that point.
Yeah, I had to have gone to game review had it fallen in, but nonetheless, game tied. We saw this a lot in game number 2. Maybe not 20 times tonight, though. Hopefully, uh, one team might be able to find a way to get a lead here. There's a block from Blackburn.
Yeah, Blackburn continuing being a very big issue for the second unit of Tennessee. And Montana really going to be try to take advantage of it, but not this time.
Yeah, unable to get the basket down low in the post. Now it's up to Tennessee. How they're going to attack this Montana defense is Bivens with the ball. Calling for the screen, not getting much of in the way, but there's 3 defenders around him, not able to make the basket fall, and Whitelatch not able to get the rebound either. That opportunity, if there's that many defenders on one player, you have to be ready to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this is with the way how quickly that they collapsed on him, you have to get some kind of help with it when he does make that desperation shot to go ahead and get that offensive rebound with how much attention that one player was getting. And though for Tennessee, they have been able to take advantage of the missed opportunity for Montana, so now they got the lead once again.
Yeah, it was the Tanuki driving to the paint, smooth as butter, laying it up and in around the defenders. As the ball stripped by Tennessee, I can't tell if it was Bivens or Whitelatch, but 1 the 2 getting their paws in. And now it's Lady Black on the other end, stepping away. Oh, fading away. No defensive fingers touched that ball, but not enough behind it to make it fall into the hoop.
And that's kind of been one of the main issues for Tennessee as well, is that when they have the opportunity for a fast break, they tend to get a little bit sloppy as they pick up the pace. And that was a really good example right there, as Blackburn is able to try and lay it up and in, using once again his size being that big issue.
Yeah, I mean, that's even the problem, I think, for Tennessee in general. Whitelatch really has to step it up when he's on the court. And, taking a 18 fadeaway shot a couple seconds into the shot clock is not the most efficient use of the possession, I would say. But Whitelatch, a veteran, you'd expect to have a bit of a cooler head in that situation. Brooks from inside the line, not good. Too much mustard behind that, bouncing off the back of the iron. Tennessee a chance to retake the lead. It's Weber's spin move, getting into the post and laying it up and in. The Deer adding 2 for Tennessee.
Yeah, Weber doing a nice little spin move, trying to be a little pretty with it, as Howlers is able to go for their second time out for the finals. Well, for this game anyways. And they're probably trying to find a way to see what they need to do to try and prevent Tennessee from taking advantage of their situations offensively.
Yeah, this is back to game 2 where, Montana seemed to be the one just slightly in favor, and now it seems to be Tennessee. And Sutter's off the inbound, just laying it up and in right away. Only one-on-one matchup he had to deal with there. We're going to see River now coming in, which is playing center. Give me a difficult matchup for him, but he'll have to see how he does. Is Selby calling the screen and laying it up and in. The Rabbit smooth all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, both teams have decided to go ahead and bring majority of their starting units. I believe Tennessee only has 1 of their bench players still on the court. So it's going to be interesting how this lineup for Tennessee works from this small ball lineup that they're pulling out here.
Yeah, and you have to imagine it's because Kierkegaard staying in even longer. Is quick layup there for Montana. Leon Cross with the basket, tying it back up once again. Like I said, Kierkegaard probably needs a few more minutes to catch his breath. That big body having to run on the court for even longer than the rest. And Weber doesn't care that he's coming off the bench, able to get his, I think, that second bucket, putting Tennessee back up.
And I think that's one of the things we have to look into. This is going to be one of those situations where it's size versus speed, as Montana really wanted to try and use their big bodies to try and clog up any lanes as possible, but Tennessee is looking to try and move past them quickly, as right now that seems to be the advantage point for Tennessee, as they have been going lights out these past 2 possessions.
Well, you say speed, but I would not describe Weber as fast. Definitely a train once he gets going. And he's been the one bullying his way to the post. As we're going to see a foul called there and a trip to the charity stripe for Aldrich.
Yeah, I mean, I guess speed might not be the best one, or it could be just athleticism in general. Because this is a very athletic lineup that we see from Tennessee. As the first one does go in,
And Kierkegaard back on the floor with the second one falling. Biggest lead, I think, tonight for Tennessee, up at 6.
and yeah, this kind of really goes to show how big of an impact a home crowd can also be as well. Because it seems like Montana has been very flustered as Kierkegaard comes in with the quick dunk. He has really done a very fantastic job so far in this game.
Yes, especially on the offensive end. And I wouldn't be surprised if Montana calls another timeout here. Should they miss this shot, they need something. And they're going to go to Birdie. He's been their rock this series and no good there. Selby, quick play down in the post. 10-point game for Tennessee now. That is definitely the biggest lead. And Montana, surely, thank you. We'll be calling timeout after that.
Yeah, this is the first time that Tennessee has actually had a lead like this at any point in this series. Usually it's Montana that has this type of cushion in the early goings, but now this kind of really shows how dangerous Tennessee is when it comes to playing at home. They have done a fantastic job so far in this game.
Well, and I think it also maybe goes into even, the Tennessee we've seen overcome the 2-0 deficits, being a team that's able to build momentum, as Dunbrock will finally put a little silence to the crowd as they go back to 8 points down. But yeah, Tennessee, a different team here tonight so far, and it's been great to see as Selby doing it himself, isolation, gets this bucket to fall. 11 points so far for him.
Yeah, Selby, well, he has been doing very, very good so far, being able to take some very proficient shots throughout this game, as we continue to hope to see him be one of the major factors as Montana with another miss as River gets the rebound.
Yeah, and a reach-in foul called against Cross there, and you got to keep in mind that we did see Tennessee make it to the bonus thanks to all those off-ball or non-shooting fouls. Got to keep in mind not to put yourself in too much of a risk there. As Aldrich finds his way to the paint, gets an and one opportunity as Callum gets called for the reach-in. The fans are once again rooting on the refs.
Yeah, as I said, like, fans are very fickle when we talk about any calls that the refs have made, and now Greg Creer able to make the second one. So Tennessee up by 13. This is the first time we've seen the Howlers be in this situation in these finals so far, and we're going to see how they bounce back as Donbrock gets the quick dunk.
Yeah, and I mean, Montana, we'll see if they're able to claw it back here, but it's just great seeing Tennessee. If you're a Tennessee fan, being up by this much, now it's all about holding on to it. Don't let it slip away. You need a statement game in game number 3 here. You don't want this to be done in 4.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it has been a very long time, or I don't even know if it happened at all since the league has started, that no one has came back from an 0-3 deficit. It's something that is completely unheard of in the playoffs. So Tennessee does not want to be in that situation as Dunbrock goes ahead and gets the quick lay-in with a nice pass into the paint.
Oh, not just that. I mean, the kind of mindset that puts you in. And I'm just talking about if you're up by this much. I mean, it's only 9 points now. But, if you let your opponents come back into the game as Kierkegaard, getting his buckets on cleanup, might as well call him the janitor with how much he's cleaning up after Tennessee here tonight. I think that's his 3rd or 4th bucket coming on a second chance opportunity.
Yeah, he's been doing a very good job of trying to be able to take advantage of the fact that Bernie Williams comes in down.
Massive dunk coming out from Birdie. Quieting the fans after Kierkegaard got him going, but it's going to be Selby trying to hit something from beyond the arc, not able to work, and they're going to go back to the Rue, trying to get something done early in the possession. Backs off, hands it back to the Wallaby. Great chemistry between these two, Callum and Lavoy Williams.
Yeah, those two have been able to be in sync since Callum has joined into the Howlers, and right now we see a very tough shot. It rattles down there. Cross doing everything that she can to go ahead and get for that 3-pointer.
Well, that was I think she was being guarded by Kierkegaard there, so she had to take a step back from beyond the arc just to have a hope of getting it over the Jackalope, and somehow converts it, and he'll answer back with a two of his own. Uh, but Montana starting to get the three-game going maybe a bit here, and Cross, not necessarily the most consistent from beyond the arc. You want to see Callum being more the one to do that. Is Birdie taking the screen, facing off against Kierkegaard, able to lay it up and in. That's Birdie's 10th point now.
We have seen him do it time and time again in these finals, and it just seems like it's impossible to stop. As we see Selby go ahead and answer right back, and now we're seeing these two start trying to one up each other.
Yeah, and Selby's been a lot more impactful tonight compared to game one. Hopefully, whatever was going on with game two, maybe a bit of a stomach bug, who knows, has resolved itself as he is stepping up for his team here tonight as he strips the ball. Now it's going to be Burger Kane from beyond the arc.
Ooh.
Is good.
Now that's what you want to see on a fast break opportunity. Already have your players going down with the hustle, having a guy wide open for three. That's going to be all day, every day.
And Kierkegaard getting active as well, swiping the ball away, and now it's Selby. Fast break opportunity, one-on-one, not able to do it, but Kierkegaard cleaning up once again. A 13-point game as both teams want to make some substitutions. I wouldn't be surprised if Montana burns another timeout. But no, they're going to hold on to it. Only 2 minutes left to go in this second quarter, and they're down by 13.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those situations where they do want to save the timeouts that they need to, as they burned so many in the first half. But with how things are going, Tennessee could start running away with this thing, and it could look scary as they were able to get it down for that one. So we'll see if Montana's able to take advantage of it.
Well, that was off of a Kierkegaard block, and another one! That's two in a row for the Jackalope, denying opportunities from Montana. That time he almost hit it into the basket. He came down from above to block it.
Yeah, Kierkegaard has really stepped up in both the offensive and the defensive efforts, as he has really become a major factor into this lead that Tennessee has right now.
I mean, that's one way to keep your lead, is if you deny them every opportunity to take the shot, steal the ball, block the ball. Don't let them get the shot in anywhere near the basket, and you're guaranteed to win. As Williamson, from beyond the arc, it teased the rim but did not want to fall. And Tennessee really wanting to add to their lead, but they have to be mindful of the pace of play. If they go too aggressive, they can start to run off the rails. You want a controlled play. You don't want to run downhill. Eventually you'll tumble and fall. Got to keep the brakes on sometimes.
Yeah, right now they have been able to continue to contain and try and slow themselves down, as Birdie once again going up against Kierkegaard and making it look way too easy.
Yeah, 13-point game. Tennessee will probably have the final shot here unless they get a good look. They might shoot earlier. It's Aldrich with the ball. Trying to find an open lane in the basket. Gets around the defender and converts. And now Montana, with 5 seconds, could make it past half court. They can at least get a decent shot up as Liana. Front iron, no good. And with that, Tennessee has a 15-point lead, 58-43 as we head into the second half. It's been Tennessee to kind of find fire here on both defense and offense in the second quarter that allowed them to pull away.
Yeah, and I have to say, I think the biggest factor for the second quarter, especially, has been Kierkegaard. He has been able to just really kind of come out the gate swinging, as he has been a major factor, both in staying on for the second unit, but of course being a spark as he came in with being the last one to come in from the starting lineup for the Moonshiners.
Yeah, and remember, the game was tied 22 apiece near the end of the first quarter. So Montana has kept the scoring pace the same, but it's been Tennessee to absolutely pull away. And as you see, Kierkegaard already a double-double with 4 blocks, on his way to potential triple-double if he can get a 6th block in the next half. 6 blocks total in the next half. Like I said, everyone from Tennessee on the starting lineup has been doing well. Berger Kane struggling a little bit, but hitting that big three really got Tennessee going on that run there at the end. And their bench has been solid too. I mean, Black 1 for 6. Would like to see a little bit more shot selection when going to the basket, but she has been drawing contact and getting to the free throw line as well. Switch over to Montana. It's really been the birdie show. You know, 6 of 9, 12 points total. Everyone else has kind of struggled a fair bit. 1 for 4, 2 for 7. St. Croix has been very quiet in this game. Only one basket and no rebounds, no steals, no blocks. I feel like Kierkegaard has been denying her that with all those offensive boards he's had.
Yeah, that's kind of been a really big shot because back over in Montana, she's has done very well for herself. So this is a very rare time we actually see the polar bear struggle the way that she has.
Yeah, you could say she's gone a little ice cold, couldn't you? Um,
Oh my god.
I am bolted to this chair. You cannot throw me over the railing. I made sure.
You're making it very tempting for me to do so.
Uh, Anyways, it's been the bench for Montana that has been at least very consistent, and we might see a little bit more of that in the second half if St. Croix continues to struggle. They might lean on Blackburn and Dunbrock a bit more. But it's going to be Tennessee with the ball to start the second half. An opportunity to get started by building the lead even more. But no, it's going to be, I believe, Sutters with the block there.
Yeah, I believe Sutter's is gonna have to step up as well. Both bigs really want to have to make a more of an impact that they did in the first half.
Yeah, Williamson trying to fight down low, not able to get the better of River. And, Sutters, as the veteran on Montana, might need to step it up. And Birdie going to be gifted the ball, dropped off in his paws, basically. And now they're trying to get something going, but no dice on the fast break. Defense clamped down too quickly.
Yeah, that's probably a good reaction to the turnover happened for Tennessee to go ahead and stop prevent any kind of fast break. As Williamson goes for three, and it's not gonna matter as he's able to drain it down.
Yeah, that's a great open look. You saw the screen getting him open. The Wallaby, he's pretty consistent for me on the arc. I'd like to see him utilized a little bit more, and that might be when Montana needs to do to get back in this game.
Yeah, we still have plenty of game left for Montana to catch up, but it really have to go depend on trying to continue to get these stops as Burger King tries to lay it up, but it's not going to be good there. So another good stop there for Montana.
And they're going to give the ball to St. Croix down low in the post, fading away. Very tough shot, but she is able to make it work.
Yeah, that's one player you wouldn't. Yeah, I would say as we get to the 10-point lead, that is one thing that they really do is try to find a way to get her confidence up a little bit, and that shots like that is going to definitely do that.
And of course, Selby, not willing to stay silent, goes ahead and drives the paint. That's his 10th point from the paint. And alley oop to Sutters is good. Cross to Sutters, works out, dunking it down back to 10 points here.
Yeah, it seems like Montana really wants to try and get their bigs sometimes to go ahead and get some easy baskets, as a lot of the plans that they have been able to use so far have been just trying to go ahead and feed the bigs in the paint. And we did see that again as, Selby with the block.
Selby doing everything. First basket, laying it up. Next basket, dunk three beyond the arc. And now getting a block, leading to Kierkegaard. The block shot, he recovers and able to lay it up and in. 15 points. Just as Montana seemed like they might have found a spark, Tennessee immediately smothers it. But Birdie not willing to give any ground. Another basket inside the paint.
And look at that 70% field goal when it comes to the field goal shots. And that's just something that you really don't see every day. That's how special Birdie has been in these finals. For Groy Creer trying to continue to expand this lead as they're now once again up by 15.
Yeah, Birdie's just been attacking the basket nonstop. We really haven't seen him try and stretch it beyond the line. That's where Callum has come in. But if Birdie starts to struggle, they might push it further out. But the ball gets lost in the shuffle of the defense, and it comes up Tennessee's way. And the crowd getting hyped, wanting to see Tennessee try and add to this lead, make it an insurmountable one potentially, especially if they're able to break a 20 mark here.
Yeah, right now it just seems like Tennessee is trying to continue that onslaught, but the defense doing very well there for Montana. Really doing good on the perimeter defense. As Saquon gets fed very quickly there by Sutters with that quick dunk.
Yeah, fast break. You don't really think about that with the Polar Bear, but she was ready, already near the half-court line by the time. And Tennessee going to go ahead and call timeout. They may want to bring in some of their bench or maybe make a little bit of adjustment. They've seen how Montana is starting to play this second half, and maybe they want to make a change. But, 13-point lead here. Tennessee needs to maintain. They can definitely try and push the lead higher, but my analogy of running down the hill, have to be careful. Same thing applies to Tennessee. You can't try and force your shots. But Bivens going to find a wide open lane and dish the ball from Aldridge, dunking it down.
That was an excellent play call there coming out of that timeout, which, by the way, this was the very first timeout that the Shiners have taken this entire game, and that shows how well that they've been playing so far in Game 3.
Well, at the same time, Tennessee has had all the time in the world thanks to Montana's timeouts. Just because one team calls timeout, both teams get the benefit of being able to talk. And because of that, Tennessee's had 3 or 4 timeouts already. And, they've managed to maintain this lead. And now they just need to hold on to it. As Rendall, off the bench, able to make it work in the paint against Weber.
Yeah, and looking at the field goal percentages, both teams doing a very good job. It's just the Moonshiners being able to take advantage of some of the turnovers that the Howls have made so far in this game. As we got a nice block there. I believe that was Sutters with the block.
Yeah, I can't tell. It's either Saquon or Sutters. Both of them are right there in the face, but ball stripped. Bivens comes up with it. Defense on both ends has had its moments. Another strip, this time by Brooks, but steps out of bounds while chasing the ball, and it's going to stay with Tennessee. And Blackburn going to come in for the Polar Bear, give her an opportunity to catch her breath. But, already seeing a lot more from her in than the first half. So I look forward to seeing her make it back on the floor later in the game.
Yeah. And it's been a very, very scrappy game so far between both of these teams. And with that being an out-of-bounds turnovers, the Tennessee has got a full 24 to work with. And Kierkegaard trying to force his way into it is, again, Tennessee trying their best to keep things going as we get a block from the Howlers.
Yeah, that was Sutters. I can guarantee you that time actually getting the paw on it. And like I said, Kierkegaard getting a lot of second chance opportunities with those those offensive rebounds. But Tennessee needs to start boxing out better against him. At least 6 or 8 of his points have come from essentially the charity bin, able to get back an opportunity. And no good there. Rendall able to defend against, I believe that was Jones.
Yeah, really doing a very good job against a much bigger player in Jones. As now we see Montana trying to find a way to get this back into single digits. As we had a nice screen over for the dunk.
Great first, I'll say, Talon acceleration, but Weber is going to find a lane, an open look. The defender lost track of him and able to drive to the basket and dunk it down. Answering back against Rendall's.
Yeah, right now, Tennessee up by 13. You expect these to go down. We got a quick foul there by Weber. They're going to call that a blocking foul, so it will stay. It won't be 2 shots.
Yeah, we didn't hit the bonus in the second quarter, so that was a good thing. But
yeah,
Jackson.
Sure. And we get a.
Go ahead.
Jackson be able to draw the foul on Savoy, so he will go on the line for 2. And both will be going down. Yeah. So, yeah, right now, both teams really kind of being very scrappy as the third quarter goes on. Both teams really trying to find ways to cost some turnovers defensively, as we see White Lights going into the paint, and he's able to get things down.
Yeah, Montana, right there you see the difference in possessions. Tennessee has had so many thanks to those second chance opportunities as Jones finds the way to the basket,
Woo.
but ball stripped on the way up. It's Tennessee with an opportunity in the fast break, giving it to Sharp. McKenzie laying it up and back to 15 points.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Again, the turnovers, the second chance opportunities. It just seems like they always find a way to get Howlers to fall asleep at certain points to be able to take advantage and get the turnovers they need to go ahead and continue to extend this lead.
Yeah, Jones, though, this time able to roll the ball off the fingertips and make it fall. A 13-point game. Plenty of time, but the time is starting to become a bit of a concern with 3 minutes and some change left to go in this third quarter. Not a lot of opportunities left to get this lead back to something manageable. Even though a missed opportunity there, Montana now with the ball.
Yeah, they need to find a way to make a run in any shape or form, and that whether it has to deal with the second unit big combo that they have utilized so well throughout the entirety of this series, or if it's having to rely on Birdie once he gets back on, which I don't think he'll be able to do so in this quarter. And we got a nice block there.
And the ball tipped, but Sharp recovers it. A cluster of a discombobulated play, and it's going to be Blackburn with 2 blocks in that possession, shutting down the Tennessee Moonshiners offense all by himself.
Yeah, right now, Dunbrook and Blackburn has just really been a very nuisance so far in the paint as Savoy gets called for the foul again. So we'll see 2 more free throws going to the Howler side.
And the opportunity to get this back to single digits is upon us after those possessions. Shock. Good on the first. And good on the second, and what was once the 15-point lead. I mean, it's only been a 6-point difference in scoring has resulted in a 9-point game now, and Tennessee might need to call that second timeout soon if they can't put a stop to this Montana bench.
Yeah, it seems like that the Montana's bench finally starting to get things clicking, especially when it comes to being within the paint. And now Tennessee is having to find some struggling. It'll be a quick air ball, and it will be Howlers with a shot clock violation.
Yeah, the defense was absolutely smothering them even on the perimeter, and that was pretty much a heave and a prayer, and the prayer did not make its way through. Blackburn.
Yeah, and
laying it up and in is good.
whew, I imagine they're gonna have to call timeout here once they cross this plane, because it's been very much all the Howlers these past couple of minutes as Tennessee is not able to get any kind of basket going down on the offensive end, and they pretty much lost their entire footing defensively. But we would get a basket there to try and get this lead back up into double digits.
I mean, at this point, the field goal percentage is starting to slip for Tennessee, and if they continue to get those extra possessions, it won't matter. But Jones dished down low in the post. I believe that was Blackburn on the assist. 7-point game, and I think, like you said, there has to be a timeout called, but Tennessee is going to roll with it.
Yeah, they're trying to feel like they have that cushion. They don't really have to worry about it too much. But with how this run has been going for the Moonshiners, they're gonna have to find some kind of game plan to really answer this wake-up call that the second unit had for the Howlers.
Yeah, and no play ended up getting played there. They just tried to develop so like nothing happened. And you talk about a cushion, but right now their cushion is deflating rapidly, and they're going to start sinking soon. And Tennessee will at least give them a freebie as a reaching foul is called, and that's going to give both teams an opportunity to make some substitutions. And Montana already bringing in some of their starters back.
Yeah, they're probably looking to try and completely take over this game as they get another easy shot there from Cross. But of course, for Tennessee, they're going to have to rely on a lot of their starters to try and clean up the mess that the second unit for the Shiners have taken.
Was it so much a mess on their part, or is it the Montana Howlers have just absolutely turned it on? And you see right there, it's been the run, 12-4. This quarter has been in favor of Montana heavily, and Blackburn has been the key factor in that. Is Dunbrock going to get the alley-oop dish to him? 5 points now. I mean, timeout might be. Yeah, we might be past the point where a timeout is necessary. It needs to. The quarter just needs
Yeah,
to end. Don't let them get another shot up.
yeah, they're going to try and drain the clock as much as possible, considering they're now only up by 5 compared to the 15 that we saw in the middle of the third quarter. We'll see what they will do offensively as River is able to draw the foul against Blackburn, but that is Blackburn's first personal of the game.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if Montana chose to keep Blackburn into the fourth quarter with how effective he's been. But no, they're gonna go ahead and bring in St. Croix, getting ready for the final quarter. It's gonna be Birdie with the final shot opportunity, not able to convert a 6-point deficit for Montana. But you have to feel after how the third quarter has gone, this fourth quarter, the momentum is favoring the the Howlers over the Moonshiners, even though they're down by 6.
Yeah, because we got to remember that at the start of this second half, the Moonshiners were up by, I believe it was like 15, I think 15 or 17 points. But
Mm.
now everything has kind of completely changed as Montana's been able to find their footing late in the third quarter, and that's going to continue on as Birdie with another easy dunk.
Well, I would not call that easy. I mean, then again, I
He's
could never
making it
do it.
look
I could never
easy.
dunk the basket without some help. Uh, alley oop to River.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah,
bullet
right.
of a pass.
Ooh. Yeah, Riva's saying anything you can do, I can do better with that dunk. And don't worry, if you need me to lift you up for any kind of dunks, I can do that.
No, I need you to lift me up so I can reach the top shelf. Thank you very much.
You usually ask me to just go and get something from the top shelf, how lazy you are. Anyways, um, we see St. Croix be able to clean things up after that miss from Lavoy Williams.
Well, and it's now the second chance opportunities favoring Montana. And, Aldrich being a bit quiet in this quarter, but it's been Kierkegaard really stepping it up. Needs to come on the floor. He's resting right now. Is a circus shot from Birdie. Not a dunk, but a layup is good. That's 18 points. The lowest Birdie has scored so far of the 3 games, but an opportunity still to contribute with under 11 minutes left to go.
Yeah, Birdie's still just being a freaking magician so far, being able to find ways to open himself up to get down into the lane as Burger Kane trying to force his way into the paint, but is guarded well against St. Croix.
Well, it's going to be Birdie. Who else to tie the game up? There was a 15-point deficit, and now we are tied once again. In Tennessee, you feel like have some players look like they want to bring in, but no, they're going to wait for the dead ball situation. I don't know if they can afford to do that. Aldrich, they need to. Aldrich is one of the players I see ready to come in. Kierkegaard's the other one that they really need to bring back out. He's got to push it in these last 10 minutes to contribute. Is a foul called against St. Croix. That's her first, though. Yes, both teams.
But it wasn't. Yeah, both teams getting ready. We see an air ball there. That's not what you want to see from River. But the second one does go down. But those are the kind of situations you really need here, as I believe both starting units are now fully on the court. We'll see how Tennessee is able to try and get things back on their ends when it comes to momentum.
Yeah, and River, we've noticed, has had struggles this series with free throws. He missed 2, to start the game, 3 that in the end kind of came back to haunt him. That could have been thing. And there you go, Howlers. First lead tonight. It doesn't matter, though. It's what the final lead is at the end of the game. But you have to feel like Montana, they're feeling strong right now. They had the first lead, and Selby takes it away from them immediately.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to have to pretty much see, as Montana finally been able to catch up and get that first lead. But now Tennessee is trying to see if they can find some answers, as Cross able to intercept that forced pass into the paint to Selby. So now Montana has a chance to take the lead once again if they get this basket here.
And Simi St. Croix attacking the post, and that's her 10th point. We were kind of chiding her for only having 2 points in the first half. Already added 8 more to that, and getting it done on defense is going to be River attacking the paint, and we're back to this tick for tat, switching back and forth between who has the lead.
Yeah, and it seems like instead of having to do with lead ties, might have a good number of lead changes as the quarter goes on. Both teams trying to continue to be strong offensively as Sutters draws the foul on River, and that'll be River's first personal.
And now Sutter's heading to the line 4-2. Good on the first. Tying it back up, and that's the official. Oh, they're actually going to do a little switch here for Tennessee. Interesting. They're going to bring in Bivens and Weber, giving River a bit of a break. Interesting to see, maybe wanting to change up the pace and game plan here in the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter as Montana. Sutter's good on both, pulls ahead once again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They wanted to go for more of an athletic lineup, it seems like, with, of course, a kicker guard being in the middle as Selby is able to drill that three to extend that lead up to 2.
Yeah, that's a bit of a heartbreaker for Montana because now, okay, you can tie it if you make this basket, and even then, second chance opportunity, not able to convert. Selby wanting to attack the basket, fast break, driving to the paint on his own, double clutches under the hoop and is good. 4 points once again here for Tennessee now.
Yeah, so far, Tennessee really trying to pick up the pace here as the game goes on. They really want to make sure that they get this win at home, and they have a great opportunity to do that here with momentum starting to go over to their side and the crowd completely being in it.
And the fadeaway no good from St. Croix, and obviously give him the ball to Selby. He's got the hot paw at the moment. Let him make his magic work as he drives to the paint with another basket.
Yeah, Selby so far has been cooking on all cylinders, and we get another timeout here for the Howlers as things are starting to get away from them pretty quickly, and they need to find a way to calm things down.
Yeah, but even then, they know they've come back from 15 points. They can do it again. They just have to shut down the Rabbit. Got to stop him from finding those easy lanes to the basket, even if it means you need to get a little chippy with it. Throw your weight around. Don't let him get those looks. And same end, Montana needs to get their baskets to fall. Especially a three-pointer would be great to see. Maybe try and get Callum open on the perimeter. That gives a great way to cut down this lead.
Yeah, that is 100% true, but right now I think they want to continue relying on the paint as Williamson tries to go for a drive but gets blocked very quickly. So now the Moonshine has a chance to extend this lead once again.
Yeah, and it was, you saw Kierkegaard on Birdie there, and, that's been Tennessee's answer right now to Birdie, because the Birdie problem has been what has kept Montana in it. And by shutting him down, they can potentially shut everyone down. But no, Birdie trying to go for the rebound, accidentally tapped it out of bounds, and now Tennessee, 14-second shot clock, chance for another basket.
And they still have plenty of time to get a play drawn and get going, but Kierkegaard looks like he's going to try and put his way on against St. Croix, but it's not going to go down this time.
Yeah, tried to force it in and not able to make it work, but Williamson, top of the arc. See Sutter's in motion, going up for the shot, leaning in is good. 4-point game here.
As Sutters, we haven't really seen him do too much offensively in this game, but when he calls his shot, he's usually able to make it, and that was a good example of that there.
Yes. Now Tennessee having to answer, and Selby, it's going to be from beyond the arc, is good. He is finding it from all ranges here tonight.
Yeah, being wide open there. I assume a screen really helped him get that spacing that he needs to get that three-point out. But again, Sutters answering right back.
Well, I mean, yeah, a 2-point is good in this situation, but it's so heartbreaking if Tennessee's going to start hitting these threes because you just see the lead slowly growing. It's going to be Selby into the paint this time, able to make it work, and now 99-92, 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, right now we're seeing a little bit of reverse of what happened. Game 2, it was Birdie Lavoie that was quiet for majority, and then late game he turned it up. For this game, Selby kind of doing the same thing here, not being very quiet for a good percent of this game, but now in the fourth quarter, he has come on all cylinders and really gave a nice lead for Tennessee. But of course, the two baskets from Sutters is keeping um, the Howlers in it.
Yeah, and you saw there Sutter's absolutely getting the majority of his scoring done in this second half. 12 points total so far, and here's the rub. Montana down by 5. Tennessee with ball, 5 minutes, a little under 5 minutes left to go. What changes do you make to stop Selby? Because right now it has been nothing but Selby that's been the problem.
I mean, right now it's just trying to find ways to use your bigs to possibly prevent him from getting clogged in. But you might have to double team him at times as well from the perimeter as Kierkegaard able to clean things up.
Again, he has
Good.
been absolutely fantastic down in the post here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And right now Montana's trying to find a way to match that, but Selby has just really taken everything that they can. And Selby, once again, with the mid-ranger, they may have to try and double team him at this point with how well he's done. 34 points tonight.
I think 15 of those have been in this quarter alone. I mean, he's absolutely been on fire here. It's going to be Birdie trying to get something going for Montana, stepping in around the defense. 22 for him.
Yeah, he has been no slouch either, but right now he has to probably do a lot more to get his team back in this game, as once again Tennessee doing a fantastic job of finding somebody open in the paint and laying it up and in.
Well, and I mean, Aldrich there, that's the problem with when you talk about double teaming Selby. That's just going to leave other people open. You're distracting yourself by trying to keep an eye on the rabbit that's doing all the work, and Birdie going to get the cleanup opportunity, keeping it within 7, but you feel like Tennessee right now has the momentum sliding in their favor. It's been off the back of Selby, and perhaps if they can shut him down, like get a good block on him, Montana can turn that momentum back in their favor. But I just don't see that happening, as an alley-oop to Kierkegaard from Selby is good.
Yeah, Selby just doing a little bit of everything so far late in the fourth quarter. We're seeing a standing ovation as Tennessee is pretty much threatening to go to a double-digit lead, and we get a quick blocking foul there on Rivers. So the Howlers have a chance to go ahead and get a fresh plan to possibly cut this deficit down and stop this momentum outright.
Yeah, and I mean, end of the day, Sutter's going to drive to the basket, able to make it work. Montana is going to call timeout. They can't. I feel like things have been going in their favor here, so this is more of a check-in timeout. Hey guys, this is what I want to do in the last 2 minutes, because right now it's a 3-possession game. You can burn 72 seconds off the clock. If they do not shoot, they just hold the ball. 72 seconds gets you down to a minute and 30 left. Sorry. Yes, a minute and 30. So he Bivens from beyond the arc, though.
Ooh.
The rookie hitting a clutch 3.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about having to hold the ball for as long as you're making shots like that. But of course, with Montana, they're going to have to really be going into a fast pace, as they have to go ahead and try to get some points, and it's not going to go down right there. And now we're in very dangerous territory when it comes to the Howlers, perhaps trying to find something to get this victory. And we got a nice block from behind there from Sutters.
Yeah, big block. He's going to finish it up on the other end, the dunk. But end of the day, this is a 4-possession game. And now 4 possessions, that goes up. And I'm going to do my math over here. That's up to 96 seconds. 96 seconds is a long time. That's less than 30 seconds for the opponent to be able to make the comeback. And that missed shot is the first opportunity in Tennessee. Montana, a 3 here would be big, but no, a quick play from Cross gets it back to 6.
Honestly, that's what you really want to see, is just trying to go ahead and use these fast break points to try to catch up pretty quickly, and just do whatever you can on defense to stop any kind of offensive slot. And that's not going to happen there, as Selby continues to be a gremlin within the paint.
Well, I'm wondering what happened in Game 2, because this Selby was completely missing in Game 2. He was there in Game 1, but then he disappeared, and then he came back.
Yeah, it really kind of shows how big a game-to-game basis it has been, as Williamson tries to go for a quick shot, but it hesitated a little bit, and it ended up hitting a defender, trying to go for a pass, it looks like. And
Yeah,
another squandered opportunity there for the Howlers.
yeah, he was about to get blocked and tried to make a last-second adjustment and just wasn't able to work. And at this point, 10 points. If a quick three does not fall, and you can tell the crowd is excited, they are about to see their team win the first game. They're going to give it to Williamson for beyond the arc is good. Williamson
Ooh.
avoids disaster, keeps them within 7, but the clock is not their friend right now. They need to stop another 3 and then the foul and hope that they can make something happen. It's going to be Bivens, though. Or sorry, Rivers, though, attacking the paint, and Montana has to call timeout.
Yeah, and I think that that's might be the dagger for this game right here, as River able to take advantage of the smaller man, as he's able to go and get that easy basket. So now they have a chance to completely seal the deal with a stop here.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
see how the Howlers
they've subbed
respond.
in their bench. They know that's not happening. I mean, they're going to throw up a 3 and hope for something, but I mean, a 3-possession game with less than 30 seconds left to go, pretty much impossible. And a foul against Blackburn called. But yes, Tennessee going to walk away with the win here. A great showing from them. Game 3 does go their way, and they will find themselves in the series 1-2.
Yeah, that's something you really have to be great to see from the Moonshiners, and that's been one of the greatest things about the Moonshiners at home, being able to feel a lot more comfortable as they are finally up on the board. We'll see if this momentum continues as we get ready to go into Game 4.
Yes, Game 4 will be the big showcase. Montana really desperate for a win on the road. They can't really afford to let the series get back to 2-2.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, looking into the stats, you see a lot of great play from Kierkegaard with 20 points and 15 rebounds. And of course, Selby doing basically everything, especially in the fourth quarter, with 36 points and 2 rebounds and 4 assists of his own.
Yeah, I mean, everything but Berger Kane, putting up double digits from the starting lineup. Uh, and then their bench, I don't want to say was missing as, Bivens hit that big 3. Weber putting up 8 points as well, but, it was the starting core for Tennessee, I feel like, that really separated them from Montana. And we'll get to see the stats at the end from the bench, but I feel like Montana had a lot more scoring from the bench compared to Tennessee. As we swap over to Montana, and of course, Birdie and I believe it was Sutters, both the main scoring threat for
And
Montana.
And you got to really give credit to Sutters because, yeah, yes, Lavoy Williams got those 24 points. It's always impressive. But Sutters doing a fantastic job in the fourth quarter as majority of his points came in the clutch. It's just unfortunate that the game was already kind of out of reach by the time he was able to turn all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he got them back in that game, but along with Birdie, and had a couple more shots fallen their way, they would have been walking home with the win here tonight. But Tennessee absolutely just took over at the very end of the game. Really, Selby took over and gave his team so many opportunities to score. As we wrap up the rest of the bench, and Montana's bench as a whole did well. As we dive into the team comparisons, like I said, we had a tie game after the first quarter, and Tennessee with those extra opportunities really were coming away 6 steals. That's the first big difference here. I think is um,
And I think Yeah, I think another big difference in the second one is the 62% field goal percentage
mhm.
compared to the 53 the Howlers had. It was just Tennessee was lights out in this second quarter. This is the best second quarter that we've seen from that team.
Yeah, and like I said, at the end of the deal, 11 steals for Tennessee. That was something that was in the favor of Montana earlier in this series. Finally went their way. 3-point shooting percentage was in their way. Second chance opportunities favored them as well. You know, every statistical category basically went their way except the bench stats. And, the field goal percentage was a little bit less, but when you're getting that many shots up in the air, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. 100%. I think that at the end of the day, I feel like the biggest thing is that we see more than just one star on the Shiners step up. Game one, it was Selby that really picked it up. Game two, it was River that really helped control the game. But this time, both Selby, River, and Kierkegaard as well, they all have been able to really help in making sure that this game went well for this team.
You're like I said, 4 of the 5 starters all putting up double digits at least, and in the end, they came out on top. But and the one stat of Montana having a 1 point lead being their biggest lead, and I think they had the lead all of maybe 90 seconds in this game. The fact though that they came back from a 15-point deficit to take the lead shows that they are still a threat even when they are down by a significant margin.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why they were that's why they have the best record in the Western Conference and tied for the best record in the entire FBA. Like they know how to they even when their games have been off and this was an off game for them, I would say, they still can be very dangerous if teams aren't really careful against them. And now that Tennessee has able to get a win and avoid being on the chopping block so early in this series, we are guaranteed a game five. So we will be going back to the Howlers um, home stadium in this series. Will we get one back here after this fourth game? Who knows? But I'm very excited to see what happens next.
I am too. Any thoughts on your projections of how this series will go now after seeing 3 games?
Well, I think that with a great showing that we saw from the Howlers and the crowd, well, excuse me, the Moonshiners, and how the crowd has really came into play here for Tennessee, I would not be too surprised. I feel like the game's going to be a lot closer in Game Four, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee does edge it out and possibly make this a 6 game series. Whether or not we'll go back to the Howlers at that point, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a 7 game series. This has been a great battle back and forth already, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this series. I've been Ryan Eastman. That was Marcus Baylor. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again for game number 4 in Tennessee.
See ya.